Who was it?
Council President Fox, where's that?
He's still on the run. Township Parsippany-Troy Hills Regular Township Council meeting of April the 12th, 2011. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law by filing a notice in the office of the Township Clerk and by posting the meeting notice on the bulletin board at the Municipal Building on December the 15th, 2010, which has remained posted since that date. A legal notice appeared both in the Daily Record and the Star Ledger and was forwarded by fax to other local newspapers and local radio stations. Note, we had a change, as you know, or you may know, all of our council meetings are videotaped. They've changed. They're being aired now on Cablevision Public Access number 21 at 2 p.m. on Sundays. And they were also available at the Parsippany website, www.parsippany.net. Roll call, please.
Can you just note the time for the record, Council President?
Oh, I'm sorry, 7:30.
Mr. Cicero.
Here.
Mr. DiPiero.
Here.
Mr. Ferrera.
Here.
Mr. Stanton.
Here.
Council President Fox.
Present. Also present is Jasmine Lynn, our business administrator, John Inglesino, our township attorney, and Judy Silver, our township clerk. Would you please rise and join us in the flag salute? Brian.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I forgot to introduce our illustrious mayor, James Barbario.
Excuse me, Council President?
Yes.
Before we get down to business, I would think we have a couple more introductions. I see two fine gentlemen in the back.
I'm taking
Are they?
that,
Oh, they are?
John.
Okay, no problem. Sorry, guys.
Upcoming meetings on May the 10th, 2011, 7:30 p.m. is an agenda meeting. The public's invited, public participation. On May the 17th, 7:30 p.m., regular meeting, public invited, public participation. Bids to be taken for 2111 at 11 a.m., fireworks display services. There were no requests for quotations, no ordinances. And at this point in time, I would like to introduce the two gentlemen that were referred to by Councilman Cesaro from the United States Marine Corps. And Mayor, Mayor, take it over.
I'll go out.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I thought they were just here privately as a...
Yeah.
Next time you guys can come and do a 21-gun salute at him.
I just, on behalf of the United States Marine Corps Reserve Program, this actually township has done a lot in the Marine Corps, and to
You know, if you're speaking to the mic and you're going to be on video, there's a video there, sir.
The camera's over there if you want to face that way.
Yeah, we'll do it.
There you go.
On behalf of the United States Marine Corps Reserve, just like to say thank you to the township. This town stepped up many of times, and I think throughout the years have given the Marine Corps Toys for Tots program, I would say over 2,000 toys, maybe even more. It's a great accomplishment that your town has done for us, always supporting the military. And just want to say thank you very much and present you with this Commander's Award, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
On behalf of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, I want to thank you, Mario. I want to thank you, Dominic, for serving our great nation, the United States of America. And I want to thank you for helping those less fortunate children out and making them patriotic citizens. It really means a lot to our community as well. So
Thank you,
from
sir.
my heart to your heart, thank you
sir.
so much.
Michelle Seven, she here today?
She's not here.
She's not here today?
No.
Okay, well, this is for her and all the hard work that she put in, organize the Toys for Tots program.
Thank you so
When you see
much.
her, you can get that to her, please.
Dominic, thank you. Just so you know, Michelle works very hard at the Toys for Tots,
Yes.
and you guys recognize that. But like I said before, thank you. You've done so much for our nation, and I truly appreciate it. On behalf of myself and the Township, Parsippany-Troy Hills, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for interrupting your meeting.
No, no,
Thank you
our
very much.
pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for all your service, guys. Thank you.
Okay.
Council President, you want to make the assignments next?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mike, will you take the add-ons when we get to them, please?
Right.
John Cesaro, take the consent agenda.
No problem.
When we get down to ordinances, I'll take the first one. Vinnie, would you take the second one? Number 6. And John Cesaro, number 7,
I guess that's a long one.
probably. Okay, we're going
There's a couple of resolutions there that are non-consent. Mr. Stanton has the
Brian has number 8,
introduction.
right?
And, Council President, you'll take the liquor license when we get to that.
I'm sorry, was that Judy?
You'll take the liquor license application when we get to that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good then for public hearing.
And the liquor license application will come to me and promptly go to our township attorney. I said five. No, I'm sorry.
Vinny's got 6.
You got 6.
Okay.
That's it. I will open it up for public hearing. Anybody wishing to address the council on any business, please come forward. You got 5 minutes.
There's no second readings.
There's no second readings. Should have checked with you first, Roy. I'm sorry.
I heard that. I got a little nervous when I wore my Army hat and 2 Marines. Only on the battlefield do we get along. Roy Messmer, 10 Drumlin Drive. Just give me a second. Good evening. Roy Messmer, 10 Drumlin Drive. This year's budget, by now, you all know my position on using the sewer surplus to reduce the tax levy. I feel it's wrong, and so do a lot of other people. With or without the toolkit, no municipality should be able to use a non-deductible tax payment, such as sewer, to reduce a tax-deductible item, such as real estate taxes. This year's tax gimmick by the administration and condoned by the council likes itself to an attorney using client's escrow money for his or her personal expenditures. I could come up with even better analogies. It's wrong. It's a bad precedent. I say, and so do hundreds of other taxpayers, the sewer surplus funds are our money in which we were overcharged, and we want it back now. As the Wentworth commercial says, it's our money, we want it now. For the last 6 years, I have challenged the 52% sewer charge increase. I have challenged the management's use of our monies at the sewer plant, especially when elected officials keep saying it's a break-even entity, this sewer plant. Mayor, your comment, or better said, non-budget plan that you handed out 2 years ago, reduce skyrocketing sewer and water bills was number 1, and number 5 was save us money by reclassifying the sewer fee as a sewer maintenance fee. You've done just the opposite. My petition with hundreds of signatures will be handed in to the mayor and this council on May 17th. Next topic. Cash payout. I know there's an ordinance tonight or a resolution, so I'm a little confused here because I didn't expect this to happen so quickly. Cash-strapped towns battered by payouts to retirees. It's not just Parsippany. I still think that it's a council meeting, so I'll say council first, and administration should really detail to us how this was paid out so quickly, but yet we're paying it off over 5 years. How is this money coming from? I only have 5 minutes, so I can't explain how in a business situation. I see John just left, but the next topic, ladies and gentlemen, next topic is shared services. Tonight I was expecting to hear the ordinance for the single-family homes occupancy, but something, John, I brought up years ago. This isn't a reflection on you again. I already brought up your fee this past year was much lower than anybody else's in the last 12 to 16 years. But occupancy, I would like to see, Mayor, shared services this way. That attorney on a county level works with all the municipalities, because when Dakotas was here, he was doing the same work for Morristown, whether it was occupancy or similar problems like that. We could use legal services to reduce all towns' legal expenses.
Mr. Messer, if I can...
Well, let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. I only have 5 minutes. Next thing, Mayor, on a good note, I'm sure you all read this. This was my wife and I didn't go to this. We had something else to do that night, unfortunately. I heard this was superb. Maybe we could get these young kids from Africa, who are certainly going through a Holocaust themselves, to come here in our bandstand, and we could have a fundraiser, and this money then can be used for very good purposes. Last thing, with the taxation on the apartments, people say, you know what, you've been working on that for years. Well, it's been 8 years. Look what the governor has done, and with this Abbott School District stuff. It's 40 years in the courts. So, just 7, 8 years with the apartment net income effect, I don't feel it's too long, but I would certainly like to see the council and the mayor and administration work with other towns to try to get this, I guess you call it tax loophole. I know it's not a loophole, it's it's on the books. The net income approach can be changed so we can get fair and equitable taxation in this town. And Mayor, you'll be picking up about $7 million a year. Thank you very much.
Go ahead, John.
John, before you go. Roy, I just want to address the net income approach. I agree. I agree. It's something, I've been addressing for years. And you and I have discussed it in the past. It's obviously a state legislature thing. I know I've had many discussions with our mayor. Hopefully, one day we can do something at the state legislature because you're right. You're right. The New Jersey Constitution is very clear. All property will be valued at its fair market value, not net income, not replacement cost. I didn't see anything like that in the New Jersey Constitution. But you're right. It does take the will of local officials to get this going. I don't mind, and I have tried to spearhead it. It's definitely something we need to change in Trenton. But you're right. $7 million more in the town would definitely be helpful. I'm sure the mayor would agree to have an extra $7 million during budget time.
The bottom line is we have to tax base pursuant to New Jersey state law.
Exactly.
The Constitution says that's how we have to.
The legislature has to
Yeah,
change it.
and that's really what it comes down to.
Hopefully one day we can do that.
I'll let you go first, Mr. Inglesino, if you like.
I just, Mr. Measure, the concept in terms of shared services as it relates to legal would not work because as lawyers we represent a client, and under the rules that govern us, that concept doesn't work. However, rest assured that I and many other lawyers who represent public entities are aware and have access to ordinances in other communities, and when issues come up, we certainly can utilize work done on other towns with respect to similar issues facing Parsippany, so that we're not reinventing the wheel every time a similar issue comes up, and there is a de facto efficiency and cost savings in that respect.
Okay, I want to just give you my philosophy on the sewer surplus, Roy. I know you think it's stealing, but it's the exact opposite. But we'll go back to my mailer. When I said I wanted to write off the maintenance portion of the sewer bill, I still want to. And that's an IRS code that we have to tackle. And I have talked to the attorney for the township, John Inglesino, in regards to that. But I wrote something up myself, and I think it needs to be known. When you have that petition, I would like to definitely have it, and hopefully you tell the citizens that you sign that, what I'm doing, because I will do it myself. I'll call each one of them up myself if I have to. Some have criticized me for taking portion of our sewer utility surplus to reduce the tax levy in the next year's budget. The criticism is misguided. Our sewer utility currently has a surplus of $5,460,000. The township has used $1,615,000 for next year's, I think it's next year's budget, correct? And I propose taking $700,000 from surplus to reduce our tax burden while leaving $3,145,000 in surplus. That is the right thing to do right now for Parsippany-Troy Hills. My critics believe that no tax is too high and no surplus is too much. They want to use our money to grow government and increase taxes. I have a different view. I believe that government should take what it needs, not what it wants, and give the excess surplus back to the taxpayer. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm taking from the same ratepayer, and I'm giving it back to the same ratepayer. That's exactly what I'm doing, and that's what I propose to do. But you need to know the history of the sewer treatment plant before we can make any accusations. For those who have followed the Parsippany-Troy Hills local government over the years, like you have, Roy, you know that our sewer surplus hasn't always been excessive. In 2005, Mayor Letts irresponsibly neglected our sewer utility. Her bad management resulted in a $28,500 deficit in 2005 in operations and a record surplus of $56,000. What this means is if anything catastrophic would have happened, the township would have been in dire straits. We would have to go into the general fund or an emergency fund. In 2006, the utility was headed for an even larger deficit. At that time, Mayor Luther was forced to increase the rate to 52% to balance the sewer surplus budget. Actually had no choice because we were heading for another deficit. You know, I'm going to be criticized probably more and more over this, but I'm doing the right thing. Our tax levy, I brought that $700,000 over to keep our tax levy low. And that's my job, to keep your taxes low, and that's what I will continue to do. This is fiscally responsible to do, but don't take my word for it. We contacted Moody's Standard & Poor's to see if it would affect our bond rating, and they said it would not. Under this administration's approach, we'll maintain an appropriate level of surplus to the current health of the sewer operations. And the reason why right now we're not able to reduce the rates, which I would like to do in the future, is we're going through a major renovation. And you don't hear that from my opponents. Major renovation. So if something were to happen right now in that sewer treatment plant, the only thing that could handle it would be surplus. So we're keeping $3 million in it, $3,145,000 in surplus in the sewer to maintain any type of catastrophic that would happen, situation that would happen in that sewer treatment plant. Just to randomly give money back, that's misguiding the residents of Parsippany-Troy Hills, and I won't do that. I'm up front. Anybody that has an issue with the surplus, sewer surplus, please call me. Feel free to call me. Anybody that signed that petition, I will speak to personally, myself. When that sewer treatment plant is finished, you're going to have a state-of-the-art sewer treatment plant, and then we'll be able to lower the rates. Not until then, because it would be irresponsible for us to move too fast and too hard. I want to thank you for your time.
Mayor, that also would impact on our electric bill also.
Absolutely, 60% reduction in our electric bill. And we have other things that are going on with the sewer treatment plant as we speak, with the, solar solar projects coming, hopefully, to even reduce the energy cost even more. Right now, we're the third largest user of energy on the Houston grid. And, you get criticized when you don't do something. I'm doing something that's very productive. We don't have a choice right now. Roy, you came here, last week about our services. If I don't take that $700,000 and move it over, services would have been reduced. It's the bottom line. It's not easy making the decisions, but I have to make them. And I'm going to continue to make them. They're not easy decisions, but you know what? I think this right now is what's best for the town. But you'll see, and you got to give it a chance, when that sewer treatment plant's done, we won't need as much surplus because it's going to run efficiently.
What's the estimated when it's completed?
I think April of 2012.
Okay, anybody else? In the
Yeah, just
public?
real quick, Roy, you made a comment comparing it to an attorney using an escrow account. I just have to ask you, and I'm not sure if you can answer. In what way, when an attorney uses someone's escrow, I work for the sheriff's office, I've been in the courthouse for 13 years. It's illegal by law. You've seen attorneys disbarred, you've seen them suspended. In what way does that compare to him actually giving the taxpayers a break? If he didn't use the $700,000, the budget would go up $700,000.
That's the president's choice.
1 minute, Roy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Brian, because I know you were listening then. I said an analogy to get everybody's
Way
attention.
off.
Well, not really way off. You see the problem with your mayor? The problem is, I want the tax deduction for the taxpayers of Parsippany. It's not a tax deduction this way. Now, I don't know who does your tax returns. Maybe you and your wife do your own tax returns. But accountant will tell you, hey, $50 for your safety deposit box. It's tax deductible. You keep securities in there, right, on your Schedule A. Might be only $50. But my calculations, and everybody knows in this town, I'm rarely wrong. I could be challenged. $114. And the people who are living in this town, at least a 20 to 30% tax bracket. All I'm saying is move it over, give us the money back, because I feel we've been overcharged. I've been hearing stuff all these years. You haven't sat here as much as I have, Brian, about the amount of electricity, this and that. Okay? We're here now where we're sitting over with $5 million surplus. At my town meeting, I said probably went up $800,000. But let me go back to your question now. Yeah, I did that on purpose. That's illegal. This wasn't illegal what's being done, but in my opinion, it's unethical and it's not fair to the taxpayers of Parsippany.
Okay, thank
Give
you.
us the tax deduction.
Thank you, Roy.
Thank you. Just one more thing, if I may. Sure. With the sewer surplus, it's not $114 in the tax. It's $30, number one. Number two, your tax levy was 2.3%. Okay? If you take the sewer surplus out of that, it now becomes 4.3%. okay? Then you take out the sewer surplus and the 100% payouts. Now you're looking at a 6% tax levy, a 7.1% increase in taxes, okay? And then if you were to max out, do all the things I don't want you to do, you would see a 9% increase. Well, we kept it at 2.3% tax levy, and we kept the total tax rate down to 3.7%, not 5.3%. That's $123, not $65. And then if you go the other route with the cap, the levy, and everything out, that's $154. Okay, so you're looking at 65 now. Mr. Mesmer doesn't sit in my seat. $27 increase, I get a phone call for that. Okay, why didn't you try any harder? Bottom line is that your sewer surplus is going back to the same base rate taxpayer. I'm not taking it from one, like if I took it from utilities on the golf, I'm taking it from people that play golf and giving it to people that don't play golf. But I'm taking it from one area and giving it back to the people that use it. That's exactly what I'm doing. And you have been hearing it all those years, Roy, because nobody did anything about it. Nobody decided to do a refurbishment of the sewer treatment plant. Back in 2009, the council pretty much voted to put the bonding in place, along with Mayor Luther. Then we're going to move forward with it, Roy. If the sewer treatment plant doesn't get done, it's just going to go into disarray, and then rates are going to continue to go up. I can give you a chart and show you how they should have been increased over the years, and they weren't. They weren't increased from 95 all the way to 2005. You know what? A little at a time wouldn't have hurt so much, but 52% at one shot, that does hurt. And that's what people remember. Hopefully we can make 52% less in a year or two when it gets up and running and functioning.
Just one more comment on something that you said. The retirement payouts, and I know you're good with numbers. Once Christie puts his pen to the paper with the health care, with the increases to the employees, Parsippany could see 16 officers disappear. 16 officers taking out approximately $3 million in sick payouts. $3 million on a $60 million budget is 5%. Could you imagine starting out the year 5%, not even count medical increases or anything else? It would be virtually impossible if we didn't do this program. They're entitled to it, but could you imagine doing a budget starting out $3 million in the hole by breaking it over 5 payments?
All right, listen.
All right.
No, this is number 1. This is number 5,
Oh, I'm sorry.
okay?
Thank you. Councilman, anybody else from the public wish to address the council? 5 minutes. It's candidates night.
Yeah. No, it's tonight, too.
Is that on? Yeah.
Annalise Catanzaro, 67 Midvale Avenue. I have a couple just clarification questions. I've been to the mayor's town hall and some of the budget hearings and Roy's town hall meeting, but I still have a couple things that are still unclear. The first deals with the police payouts, and if you've already addressed this, I'm sorry, I had a work meeting that ran late. For the police payouts, it's going to be, it deals with the sick days and vacation days of retiring officers, or is it pension? Because there's been a couple
No, it's
different
not
things that are
pension.
reflected. It's not pension. Okay, so it's sick days and vacation days
Right.
for
Cumulative over the time of their contract.
mostly from police officers that have retired last year or this year.
It's mostly from police officers, the higher amounts, but
Okay.
also,
And I know it deals with a state law that allows you to do this. Is it deferring the payment, like up 1/5 in 2011, 1/5 in 2012?
it's deferring, that's what it is.
Okay, so we're only actually this year going to be paying that 1/5 of the 700,000.
What do you call it, it's deferred?
The payouts are all going to be made this year. We're making $800,000 in payouts in 2011.
Right.
But for budget purposes, we're allowed to defer.
So
A quarter.
we will actually pay out all those officers the $800,000 this year.
Yes.
But the trick is that we have the $200,000, whatever that is actually going to be reflected as a payout in 2011.
In the budget, yes.
And then the same thing will happen in 2012.
Yes.
Okay. So the actual money, even though we're not budgeting for it this year, the actual money is coming from other surplus that will. I'm just wondering.
In essence, yes.
Okay. So not it's just like general municipal surplus?
Yes.
Okay, got it. The other question I had was, you were talking about the sewer treatment plant, that the renovations will be done in 2012, April 2012. Do you know offhand, and I know you may not, but do you know offhand how much we'll actually have in the sewer surplus at that time? So right now, after the 700,000 movement, we have around 3 million in the sewer surplus. If we don't change the rate and it stays at the current rate, how much surplus will we actually have a year from today?
Yeah, about the same.
Probably between 4 and 5 million.
Okay, so it doesn't go up that much because it's actually kind of aligned with the use right now. So it'll only be about $1 million more that we would have. It's not like we're doubling it over the course of a year or anything
Correct.
like that? Okay.
That's correct.
All right. And then the final question I have is less of a budgeting question and more of just like HR question. The scenario that Brian laid out about the police retirements, and I know this is like a problem not just in Parsippany, but statewide, not just police officers, but other municipal workers and in the Board of Education as well, as we see. What are we doing, or what are you doing, Mayor, to prevent officers from retiring? So if we have, let's say, 16 that are able to retire, that have scheduled like sick days and vacation days, what are we doing to incentivize them not to all retire in 2012? Because otherwise we're going to be stuck in the same boat we are right now, where we're
Right now, I can't even
deferring.
discuss that with you because we're having negotiations with them.
Okay.
But in a general sense, there's
Yeah.
pending legislation.
Right. And
That it appears the governor's indicated he would sign. And once he signs that, any police officer that's presently on the payroll has 120 days to get out.
90.
Or, how much?
90.
90 days to retire, or face the penalties that are going to occur for all those that are working, which is a huge increase in their medical costs and everything else. So if they leave, they don't have to do that.
Okay. But
The other thing you have to remember that, these people that are leaving, we've all been here a minimum of 25 years. So their salaries are up there. They could be replaced at a much lower salary.
But we still have, all those officers that you're referring to that in the 25-year range probably aren't retirement age. Like, I would guess, like, let's say they started in, like, their early 20s, let's say.
No retirement age.
Well,
You
they're
could
saying, I'm saying in my mind, like, from the business world, let's say you retire at age, like, 65, 66. Like, the guys probably are younger than that, right?
Yes.
So, like, they would technically, like, they're familiar with Parsippany. They probably wouldn't retire if the legislation wasn't in place. And I'm just saying, like, even if the bill that the governor is in support of, the 90-day limit, we're still going to have the same problem where these 16 guys are like, all right, well, I don't want to have to pay, how much more into my health insurance, or I don't want to have to forfeit my vacation days, and you still have this mass exodus of 16 officers, and we're still stuck with the same bill and having to defer it,
Let's just put it this way. It's going to be a tough nut to crack. I mean, the bottom line is they're going to retire when that bill gets signed. There's no doubt about it. There's no avoiding it. There's no stopping it. And I'm a realist, and I understand all that.
It's also mandatory. We don't, for example, the healthcare contribution bill, it's mandatory that that employees pay a minimum of 1.5% of salary towards.
Right.
We can't change that. That's the law.
Yeah.
We can't say to our employees, you don't have to pay that.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, there's got to be, like, not necessarily a monetary incentive or something along those lines, but something that the mayor, I mean, you're having regular discussions, you know who the 16 people are,
Well,
and
their incentive is to get out when that bill's signed.
What you're looking at,
It's a shame
the bottom line, it is a shame.
we're going to have, let's say, like,
what
2
you're
years
looking
from
at
now.
being
But
an
that is
officer, right now they're paying 1.5% of their salary. You're looking at a possibility of 30% of their premium. If they decide not to retire, that follows them to retirement when they do. If they do retire now, that 30% will not be enacted at all.
So the
So
purpose of the
there will be
legislation
no
really is to
incentive.
get all these guys to retire.
Yeah,
basically.
unless you offered somebody a few $100,000, there's no incentive.
Yeah.
And you can't circumvent, and once the governor signs that bill, and you can't circumvent it. You can't say, listen, we'll give you this
I
and that.
understand,
It
yeah.
just doesn't, sounds good, sounds easy, but it's not.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Consent agenda. consent.
Close the public hearing?
Oh, I'm sorry, we
No
still
one
have more.
else is-
Anybody else like to approach the council? 5 minutes. Seeing no one rise, I close the public portion. Thank you.
I do consent? Yeah. Council President, may I?
Yes, you may.
All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the Township Council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Cicero?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrera?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Council President Fox?
Yes. All right, that's all consent. Ordinances, I can't find ordinance number 1.
You had
It's-
your hand before.
It's going to be, it's numbered number 5 on the upper right-hand corner.
Number
And
5.
it's ordinance 2011:04.
It's a resolution. Thank you. All right, ordinance number 2011:04. An ordinance of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, authorizing a license agreement between the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills and the Parsippany Soccer Club, Inc. Be resolved that the above ordinance will be introduced and read by title and passed on first reading at a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills held on April the 12th, 2011, and that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage at a meeting to be held on May the 17th, 2011, 7:30 p.m. prevailing time, or as soon thereafter as the matter may be reached at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved, that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with the notice of introduction, therefore being published in the official newspaper according to law.
Second.
I'm sorry, who
DePiero.
confirmed? Did Mr. DePiero?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Cicero?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrera?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Council President Fox?
Yes. Councilman Ferrera?
Ordinance number 2011:04.
No, that's fine. 05.
05, sorry. Ordinance of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills in the County of Morris, New Jersey, providing for retirement payouts and authorizing a special emergency appropriation of $895,944. Therefore, be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced and read by title and passed on first reading at the meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, held on April 12, 2011, and that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage at the special meeting to be held on May 17, 2011, at 7 p.m. prevailing time, or as soon thereafter as the matter may be reached at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given the opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with the notice of introduction, therefore being published in the official newspaper according to law.
Second.
I'm sorry, who's the second by? May I call the roll, Council President?
Please.
Mr. Cicero?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrera?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Council President
Yes.
Fox? I just want to note for the record that the second reading and public hearing on ordinance 2011:5 and 2011:6 will be at a special meeting at 7 o'clock, which is on May 17th, prior to the regular meeting. At the same time, we're going to be considering the adoption of the budget. Just a note for the record. Thank you.
May I?
Yes, please.
April 12, 2011, ordinance number 2011:06, calendar year 2011. Ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriations limits and to establish a cap bank, NJSA 48:4-45.14. Be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on first reading in a meeting of Township Council, Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, held on April 12, 2011, and that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage. A special meeting be held on May 17, 2011, at 7 p.m. prevailing time, or as soon thereafter as the matter may be reached at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with the notice of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law.
Second.
Mr. Stanton, is that second by Mr. Stanton, Council President?
Yes.
I'll call the roll,
Please.
Mr. Cesaro.
Yes.
Mr. DePiero.
Yes.
Mr. Ferrera.
Yes.
Mr. Stanton.
Yes.
Council President Fox.
Yes. Resolutions, Councilman Stanton?
April 12, 2011, Municipal Budget Notice, Section 1. Municipal Budget, Township Parsippany-Troy Hills, County of Morris, Fiscal Year 2011. Be resolved, following statements of revenues appropriations shall constitute the municipal budget for the year 2011. Be it further resolved, the budget be published in the Daily Record newspaper, issue on April 22, 2011. The governing body of Township Parsippany-Troy Hills does hereby approve the following as a budget for the year 2011. Notice is hereby given the budget tax resolution was approved by the Township Council, Township Parsippany-Troy Hills, County of Morris, April 12, 2011. Hearing on the budget tax resolution will be held at the Municipal Building, May 17, 2011, 7 o'clock p.m., which time, place, objections to said budget tax resolution for year 2011 may be presented by taxpayers or other interested persons.
All right, add-ons to the
Oh, we
agenda.
got-
Not done yet.
I'm
We're not
sorry.
done yet. Explanatory statement, summary of current fund sections approved budget, year 2011. General appropriations for, appropriations for caps, $46,633,913. Appropriations excluded from caps, $13,687,908.74. Total general appropriations excluded from caps, $13,687,908.74. 3, reserve for uncollected taxes based on estimated 99.06% of tax collections, $1,750,000. Total general appropriations, building aid allowance for school state aids, $62,071,821.74. Number 5, less anticipated revenues other than current property tax, $19,292,091.74. Difference amount to be raised by taxes for support municipal budget, $39,665,094. Minimum library tax item 6C, sheet 11, $3,114,636.
Now the second, Council President. Are you seconding it, Council President?
Yes,
And I'll call the roll.
please.
Mr. Cesaro.
Yes.
Mr. DePiero.
Yes.
Mr. Ferrera.
Yes.
Mr. Stanton.
Yes.
Council President Fox.
Yes. Add-ons, Councilman DePiero?
No, we have one more resolution. We're going to do the, and then we do the budget at the end.
Which one?
The application, let's handle the last, item 17 on your agenda, and then we'll do the add-ons.
The transfer?
Yes, and so you're going
Want to do
to,
that now?
yeah, and then we'll do the add-ons. We'll get the
All right,
agenda.
I'll take responsibility for that. Give it to John Inglesino.
There you go. Yeah, we're going to do the
Chair
license
is
now,
yours,
then do
John.
the add-ons.
Okay, there is a agenda item regarding the transfer of a liquor license from WYB2 to Domenico, Inc. regarding 252 Route 46 West. As a preliminary matter, all of the paperwork, filings, publications, et cetera, have been received, have been deemed complete by the clerk's office, been reviewed by my office and determined to be in order. The police department has signed off, the clerk's office has signed off, and so from a processing standpoint, this application is ready for council action to be transferred. There is an objection, as I understand it, to the transfer. The objection is being made by the transferor, and that would be WYB2, who is represented in this matter by Mr. Espinoza, correct? Mr. Espinoza, I understand that you would like an opportunity to be heard. Yes. You may approach.
State your
John.
name for the record,
Yes,
please.
I will.
John, should I recuse myself?
Oh, yes, Councilman Farrar has indicated previously of a conflict. He was correct in doing so, and he should step off the dais.
Good evening. I'm glad to be.
Mr. Espinoza, before you do, I have to tell you that I asked that you be brief. You know, this is informal. It's not a court. And quite frankly, you know, I'm pretty familiar with the facts here, having been through the papers. Let me cut to the chase. There's an order here, a final order dated December 17th, 2010, signed by the Honorable David B. Rand, that says, in part, that WYB2 Liquor, through its members, is hereby directed to immediately authorize the transfer. So there's a court order here, and attached to the court order is a statement of reasons that is pretty comprehensive. And in that statement of reasons, it says, and I quote, "As such, WYB2 Liquor, through its member, Mr. DeLamos, is directed to fully cooperate in the transfer of the liquor license at issue to Mr. Perota." Now, I think the question that I have in being able to advise the council is, why should this council not transfer the liquor license in light of that court order?
Let me make an observation with respect to the order, which also says that it doesn't mean that this council cannot have other consideration by which to decide not to-
And that is why I indicated first that all of the paperwork is in place. It has been reviewed, it has been approved by my office, it has been signed off on by the police department, and as far as I can see, there is no reason, independent of the court order, why the council should not take action tonight. Do you know of any such reason?
But yes, and
Okay.
the reason is the following. Even in reference to the court order, that court order is not a final order.
Well, forget
Let me-
forget the court order. My question to you was, is that absent the court order, is there any reason why the council should not take action tonight on the transfer?
Our objections are precisely based on the litigation that is ongoing.
What is this? Are there any orders subsequent to the December 17th, 2010 order?
There have been none, and this matter is right now for trial de novo. And under the court rules, you cannot have an appeal of this order, which is an interlocutory order,
Well, there was a motion for reconsideration that it was also denied, as I understand it, correct?
but it still is interlocutory until it is.
So you filed an interlocutory appeal?
No,
You didn't.
But because there is a reason for that. Okay.
Well, I'm not sure I care what the...
But first, another interlocutory appeal are not granted.
Sir, again, this is a council meeting, it's not a courtroom. We can't be here all night giving you an opportunity to address some specific questions. You didn't file an interlocutory
No, there
appeal,
is no-
which means that the order from the court is final. Is that
No,
correct?
no, not at all. In order for a
Well,
court-
why isn't it final?
because it has to be certified final. And if it is not certified, and that's the rule of court, if it's not certified final, then all issues of this case are open for appeal and only will be ripe when every issue of the case is finalized. So even attorney's fee, the appellate division is very clear with respect to that.
Is there any order staying the order of the judge pending an appeal?
There is none.
Okay.
And the reason why is because in order to have a factual makeup on a matter that is inextricably intertwined with the claim of WB2 and also of, when I say WB2 liquor license, and also of Peter DeLamos himself, which is, I did not represent on the case, but was brought up as a third-party defender and not served. All of these matters are still alive and not finalized until the trial on May of 2011 is finalized. So it is. We have matters that are inextricably intertwined.
Mr. Espinosa,
in which there will be-
if I may.
May I finish?
No, you may not on that point. And again, I don't mean to be rude, but we can't be here all night. And you have to answer my questions directly if you want to be at all persuasive with me. And I understand and appreciate the position that you are in because you are fighting an uphill battle for a client. And I recognize that position and I know it well and I appreciate it. But this statement of reason says that your client, through Mr. DeLamos, is directed to fully cooperate in the transfer of the liquor license at issue.
And it has
Now,
been done.
Well, by you being here tonight objecting to the transfer, How is that fully cooperating
We are not-
with the statement of reasons that is attached to Judge Rand's order?
We are not, we.
You're
first-
you're objecting to the transfer, correct?
No. Let me explain what is my position.
Are you objecting to the transfer?
I am.
Okay,
bringing
so,
to the-
so let me, I get, if you're objecting to the transfer, then you're not fully cooperating
No.
within the transfer of the liquor license, which is being directed by the court, are you?
Absolutely, I will never disobey a court order.
Well, then,
We have made-
then, by objecting, you are.
We have to bring to your attention, because in the letters that was sent to you, to us by the attorney of the town, there is a statement that we are trying to reserve a reversion, and we are not.
I'm sorry,
We
that you-
wanted
that you what?
A reversion. And we wanted to make clear that while we are totally cooperating, and we have signed the papers for the reason of the transfer, we are not abandoning all of the right that my client has on the litigation that has no finalized.
No, and this is not a court of law. Nobody is taking any action tonight that is going to result in you abandoning any rights that you have with respect to the litigation. Those are rights that you have that are completely independent of this body. This is a very simple liquor license transfer. And we have a court order here that directs your client to fully cooperate in the transfer of the liquor license, and yet you stand here on behalf of your client and you object to the transfer.
We are not objecting to the transfer.
Well, that's what you just said.
No.
Okay, so you're not objecting to the transfer.
Listen to me, please, because I don't want you. What we are saying is, despite Judge Rand's order, on which we have cooperated by signing every paper, we want this council to be aware that there are claims of my client on this license that have not been totally and absolutely been quenched. And those are the ones that are part of the litigation that is to come, and also the one that might come also on appeal. And not only that, that also Mr. Peter Dilamo, who was not part of this litigation at all, has the claim that has not been quenched and finalized or limited or precluded by the statute of limitation.
Okay.
I am only making an observation to this council about that it is not a finalized litigation. Yes, we will fully and did cooperate fully with the order of the court.
Okay.
But we will be remiss on our duty not to make clear to the council that this matter has not been totally finalized.
Okay.
And that it is not even a final, even the order of the judge, although we are obeying it, it is not a final order and is subject to appeal.
All right, I understand your position and I appreciate it, but just to make clear for the record, because I think you said two different things and it may have been that we didn't communicate well, but I just want to make clear. So you're not objecting, are you objecting to the transfer of the liquor license that is on the agenda for the council tonight, yes or no?
Let me put it to you this way, okay, and I will answer again. We will not disobey the order of the court.
All right,
And we are not here for that purpose.
But
But on the other hand,
Mr.
okay,
Espinoza, with all due respect, I've now gotten three
Okay,
answers.
allow me to finish.
No, because we'll be here all night.
It
I've
is
gotten-
because
I've gotten-
the word object,
All right,
as
Mr.
you put it, will put my client in the position of disobeying a court order, and we are not doing that.
Okay, so let me be clear for the record, okay? Because I want to know, and I want to be able to advise my client. I'm going to ask the question one more time. It's a very simple question, and it requires a very simple answer. And I'm not asking you to prejudice any rights that you have in any litigation. Are you here tonight objecting to the transfer of this liquor license?
I'm going to answer in this way. We are not, and I will repeat it, we are not disobeying the court order. Okay. We are 100% obeying the court order. However, I want to make clear to this council that the right of my client are still alive within the context of this litigation and also within the context of appeal. And that under the agreement that is in there, Peter Dilamos himself, which was not part of the litigation at all, has still alive his rights to it. I am not going to speak for Mr. Peter Dilamo himself alone, because I do not represent him personally.
I understand.
But what I'm saying is, yeah, we have done what the court says. However, there are other considerations, which, by the way, the court left it open by the fact, not to me, but to this council.
I understand that. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your comments.
Your recommendation, Counsel?
The recommendation is there's no reason not to take action to approve the transfer. The
Make a
paperwork-
motion to approve the
paperwork is in
transfer.
order.
Second.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the motion in a second?
Yes.
You're going to read, whoever's making the motion has
I
to read
got
the
it.
rest. Okay.
Whereas an application has been filed for a person-to-person transfer of the plenary retail consumption license number 1429-33-001-007, heretofore issued to WYB 2 Liquors LLC, trading as What's Your Beef, for premises located at 252 Route 46 West, Parsippany-Troy Hills, New Jersey. And whereas the submitted application form is complete in all aspects, transfer fees have been paid, and the license has been properly renewed for the current license term, whereas the applicant is qualified to be licensed according to all standards established by Title 33 of the New Jersey statutes, regulations promoting thereunder, as well as pertinent local ordinances and conditions consistent with Title 33. Now therefore be it resolved that the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills does hereby approve, effective April the 5th, 2011.
I'm sorry, it's April 12th. Sorry,
It
yeah.
says 5th on here.
Yeah, that was because we're
Okay.
considering it
April the
last week.
12th, 2011. The person-to-person transfer of the flood planetary retail consumption license to Domenico Inc., trading as Rigoletto Ristorante, for premises located at 252 Route 46 West, Parsippany-Troy Hills, New Jersey, and does hereby direct the township clerk to endorse the license certificate to the new ownership as follows. This license shall be subject to all terms and conditions and is hereby transferred to Domenico Inc., trading as Rigoletto Ristorante, effective April the 12th. April the 12th?
That's correct.
April the 12th, 2011. I have a second?
Second is by Mr. Stanton.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Cesaro.
Yes.
Mr. DiPiero.
Yes.
Mr. Ferrera. I'm
can't
sorry,
vote.
yeah, it's habit. He is not voting on this issue. Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Council President Fox?
Yes.
Come on.
He left the room.
What's your name anyway? They were out of habit. Oh, we realized this. Now we just need a motion to add the two items.
We have a motion to add on to the...
Make a motion to add the 2 resolutions to the agenda.
I'm sorry, Mr. Stanton?
Seconded by Stanton.
Okay, this is a roll call to add the items to the agenda.
Right.
Mr. Cesaro?
Yes.
Mr. DiPiero?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrera?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Council President Fox?
Yes.
Resolution of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills authorizing an agreement and release with DLS Contracting, Inc. Whereas on February 26, 2008, the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills awarded the DLS Contracting, Inc., DLS Contracting, the Knoll Country Club West Course Asphalt Golf Cart Path Reconstruction Contract. And whereas pursuant to the contract, DLS Contracting has undertaken various improvements on the Knoll Country Club West course, and whereas said improvements undertaken by DLS Contracting have reached substantial completion, whereas the township has accepted said improvements to the Knoll Country Club West course, and whereas DLS Contracting has sought final payment for said improvements made, whereas the township desires to fully and finally release DLS Contracting from the contract, and whereas the township and DLS Contracting have reached an agreement on an amicable resolution of any and all outstanding claims, invoices, and amounts, and all of them that have been or could have been asserted against one another in exchange for final payment of $12,000. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. That 1, the Township Council hereby authorizes the agreement and release by and between the Township and DLS Contracting, Inc. And 2, the Township Council hereby authorizes the mayor, business administrator, and/or township clerk to execute and deliver the agreement and release, and to deliver and return that sum agreed upon by the Township and DLS Contracting as due, and owning under the agreement and release to DLS Contracting in the manner set forth in the agreement and release.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Just for some discussion before you have the roll call. I was there when this contractor was putting in those, this is the car paths, right?
Yes.
Okay? Very unsatisfactory job. There were 6 holes where the car paths were cracked before any carts even went on them. Yeah, you can see indents where the car paths have driven over them. It was a very poor job. I am very dissatisfied with this contractor, and I intend to vote no.
We're going to wind up in court.
May I call the roll, Council President, if there's no
Please
more
do.
discussion? Mr. Cicero?
Excuse me, my question real quick. Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
You were indicating about work. What was going on with the work that was done?
The car paths were cracking before they even completed them. There are ruts in the car path today. There are cracks in the car path today. They repaired a couple of portions that were really, really bad, but they're still not satisfactory. And when you have brand-new car paths and you pay all this
I
money,
didn't know this.
you shouldn't get this kind of work.
Yeah, I feel, I did not know that. I'm feeling uncomfortable on this motion.
Yeah, it's the first time we're hearing about it. Why don't you defer
Yeah.
it?
I know.
Why don't you defer it? Why don't you defer action on this?
Yeah.
Take it off the agenda
No,
for
you're
today, please.
Okay, this is the first that we're hearing about these kind of complaints.
But
So
I thought
would-
this
And there was
was an agreement. that
And there
reached.
was I emailed you today an explanation. Maybe some of you didn't get an opportunity to look at your email from the Township Attorney's Office. So as Mr. Ingles said, we could defer it. So if you just want to rescind the motion in the second, and I'll just table it to the next agenda.
Okay,
Okay, so that'll,
Motion to defer?
yes.
well, we have a motion on the floor,
Well,
so if you just,
make a motion to rescind the motion that's on the floor.
right, that motion to rescind,
Make a motion to rescind the motion.
and the second by,
Second.
and Mr.
Thank you.
Cicero?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Fox?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton? Yes. Council President Fox?
Yes.
All right, the second resolution. Whereas Mayor James R. Barbero desires to appoint Gerald P. Scala as municipal court judge commencing May 1st, 2010, for a term which expires December 31st, 2013.
2011.
It says 10 on here. All right, 2011, for a term which expires December 31st, 2013. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills that Gerald P. Scala is hereby confirmed as municipal court judge for the above referenced term.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Cicero?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrera?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Council President Fox?
Yes.
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting. Have a good
Second.
night, everyone.
Who is this motion,
I made
second
the
by?
motion.
Who seconded?
Mr. Cicero?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrera?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Council President Fox?
Yes.
And the time, Council President, for the record. Council President,
Yes.
time?
Time is 8:28.
Thank you.
Oh, Mike, I didn't check my emails. It was clients over there. I'm glad you said something.
Anybody on the